Hello, welcome back to another episode of Tronics in 10. My name is Brian. Now that we're through the holidays, we're going to pick up where we left off with building our radio. In this episode, we're going to install the audio detector diode, and we're also going to get a good start on the audio amplifier stage. So stick around, we'll be right back right after this. Okay, we're going to install our detector diode. We're going to hook the anode or positive end of the diode to the collector lead of our RF amplifier that we installed or completed during our last video. And we're going to start by soldering down a 100K resistor. Color code is brown, black, yellow. And we're going to solder that down to the ground, the circuit board. That's going to be the ground return path for our detector diode. Okay. Now the detector diode that I'm using is a general purpose silicon diode. It's a switching diode. It is a 1N4148 diode. You can also use a 1N914 diode. It's not extremely critical, but it is a silicone type diode. And the anode end of the diode, the positive end of the diode, is going to connect directly to the collector of the RF transistor, the 2N3904 that we completed during our last video. And I'm going to solder that to the collector of the transistor. And then the other end of the diode, the cathode end, the one that has the little marking band. I'll hold this up so you can see it better. The cathode end of the diode is designated by the little black band that's on the end of it. That end will connect to the 100K resistor that goes to ground. And we'll solder that down here real quick. And I'm going to turn this around so you can look at it from a different perspective. The anode end connects to the collector of our RF transistor or RF amplifier stage, and then the cathode end, the end that has the black band on the diode, that connects to the 100K resistor that goes to ground. Color code is brown, black, yellow. Now this is a little different way of installing a detector diode. I have it connected directly to the collector of the RF amplifier, which applies the positive voltage on the anode side of the diode, and along with the ground return of the 100K resistor, that turns this diode on very slightly, which improves its ability to work as a detector. This is a slightly different configuration than what you may have seen in other circuits. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is install an RC network using a resistor and a capacitor to form a low-pass filter. Okay, for our low-pass filter, we're going to start by soldering one end of a 0.0039 microfarad capacitor to ground. That forms part of our low-pass filter. And then, using a 4.7K resistor, color code is yellow, violet, red. One end of that resistor will connect to the junction of our diode and the 100K resistor to ground, and the other end will connect to the capacitor that we just soldered to ground. This creates a low-pass filter which further removes the radio frequency artifacts from the audio. Solder this and this. Clip off some excess lead length from our detector stage. Now for the audio amplifier stage, we are using another NPN transistor. It's a 2N3904 series, and have it mounted on the perf board. I have the pins facing back towards the rest of the circuitry, and the pinout for this particular transistor, like the one before it, is emitter base collector, left to right, with the flat side facing you, and the leads of the transistor pointing down. Again, you want to make sure that your version of an NPN transistor has the same pinout, and if it's different, you'll want to make note of that. Okay, we're going to solder down our modularized perf board so it stays put while we solder additional components to it. The next thing that we're going to install will be a 470 ohm resistor, yellow, violet, brown, and that's going to go to the emitter lead of the audio NPN transistor. So we'll put a spot of solder on that. And then the other end will go to ground. Okay, and then next we're going to install a 4.7K ohm resistor from the base lead of the transistor to ground. 4.7K is yellow, violet, red. And one end connects to the base lead of the transistor. solder that down. And the other end of the 4.7K ohm resistor will go to ground. Let's solder that down to the circuit board. Well, we got a good start on our audio amplifier, and we have our detector stage installed, and we have our low pass filter installed. We're out of time for now, so in our next segment we'll finish up our audio amplifier, and we'll probably connect the tuned circuit of our front end to the buffer stage. We're getting closer to being done, so until next time, I thank you for watching this episode of Tronics in 10. My name is Brian, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.